Pay-per-view formula. Let's talk about pay-per-view in general. This is basically going to be a brief introduction for people on PPV traffic. And basically, at the end of this webinar, you should have at least enough of the tools in order to get at least started in this business and in driving this sort of traffic. I've concentrated for the longest time, probably now for the last 5 years, on sending PPV traffic to cost per action offers. But with that being said, PPV is so powerful, there's really a lot of applications for it. You can send the traffic to CPA offers, you can send the traffic to cost per sale offers, you could do PPV arbitrage, you could send the traffic to a page where you're actually doing some sort of list building activity. And you can build lists fairly quick because there's so much PPV traffic out there, and it can be extremely targeted. And if you have the right type of opt-in page, it's very easy to get conversions as far as building a list. But for the purposes of tonight's call, I'm going to basically concentrate on PPV traffic to CPA and talk a little bit about my course, Pay-Per-View Formula 2.0, and what is it for the people on the call tonight. Now, the correct industry term for this is CPV. It's not PPV. PPV is more of the acronym known for ordering a live TV event, whether it's boxing or some sort of WWE event. But I went with the term PPV about 3-4 years ago because it just went in sync with the way my courses were named with PPC, PPT, and PPV. But like I said, the correct term is CPV. And I blew the doors open to this traffic source way back in 2007, initially with a 36-minute video. At that point, there wasn't many people who had even heard of this type of traffic, CPV traffic, and basically introduced it to my customers, and many have gone on to make incredible amounts of money. With that being said, for people who are getting initially involved in PPV traffic, you have to understand that it's extremely powerful and it can be a dangerous form of traffic generation because sometimes it's so unpredictable and it can come in so fast that even though you might have a daily budget, it might blow right through it. I mean, I have blown through budgets almost 100, maybe 1,000% before the network could even stop it. And that's generally when you've been on targets like MySpace or Facebook or Google. So be extremely careful when you're doing that. Also keep in mind that if you are going to be driving PPV traffic to some sort of CPA offer, that some CPA networks have banned PPV traffic, even though it is completely white hat legal and compliant as far as a lot of these networks have e-trust accreditations. But some CPA networks who don't fully understand PPV traffic will not allow it to their offers. With that being said, many pay-per-click marketers have abandoned pay-per-click traffic in favor of PPV traffic. But the one thing that I want you to understand is that although PPV looks very, very lucrative, PPC traffic still dwarfs it as far as sheer potential of how much traffic you can get out there. With that being said, I do have a pay-per-click formula course that does relaunch on October 20th for anybody who is interested in getting into the pay-per-click game, and that's at payperclickformula.com. Now let's talk about what adware traffic is and give you guys a good fundamental understanding of what it is. I mean, most of you guys are familiar now, probably if you're doing any kind of mainstream internet marketing, you're familiar with natural SEO traffic, you're familiar with article traffic, you're familiar with pay-per-click traffic, and a wide variety of other sources of traffic. But one of the things that is seldom talked about is adware traffic or PPV traffic. And this is traffic that's literally triggered by software that is downloaded by an end user. So what happens is somebody will see an ad for whether it's free screensavers or free emoticons or free games that they can play on their desktop, and they will download these software applications right down to their desktop. And what happens is these software tools, what they do is they generate pop-up windows. And this can be a pop-over or it could be a pop-under that contains your advertisement. And now this is 100% compliant because the people who are downloading these free software applications are downloading it contingent on the fact that they do accept the occasional pop-up window every day. So it's kind of a fair trade. I mean, you have all these companies making these high-tech software products such as free 3D screensavers, all these games, and they're giving it to you literally for they're literally giving it to their users for free, and they're saying, hey, listen, we'll give you all the software for free. All we ask is that you accept the occasional advertisement once in a while. And so who wouldn't jump at that opportunity to get that if you don't mind getting the occasional pop-up window? So with that being said, keep in mind that these pop-up windows do pop up from the adware applications on the user's computer, not the browser. So no pop-up blocker will be able to block the pop-up window. because it's not triggered by the browser. Now, in order to buy advertising on the PPV networks, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be choosing keywords and domains to target. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the one thing that I want to clarify for sure here is that many of you might be thinking, well, adware, isn't that the same as spyware? Well, it's not. It's completely different. I mean, if you've been on the internet for a while, I would assume that almost 100% of the people on the call tonight are familiar with what spyware is because at some point in your internet marketing or your online career, you've been affected by it. Spyware is basically malicious software that's put on your computer without your consent. It is very, very, very difficult to remove. In fact, it could change your homepage. It could start tracking your activities. It could start stealing information from your computer. And it's almost impossible to get off unless you buy some sort of anti-spyware program in order to remove it. So, I mean, and they don't ask permission to be put on your computer. So that's the biggest difference between adware and spyware. Adware is 100% opt-in and 100% compliant, whereas spyware is basically there to steal your information and just blatantly pop up advertisements without your permission on your computer. So we already talked about how adware, basically what adware is. So let's talk about how adware actually works from a technical point of view. Well, when an adware user visits a domain that you are bidding on, they visit a domain that you are bidding on, and a domain is simply a target that I talked about on an earlier slide. Your advertisement is displayed in a pop-up window, and this could be an advertisement for anything that you want to promote. As long as it's compliant for the PPV network, and I'll talk about what the PPV networks are, so that you can go out there and join them and start literally buying cheap targeted traffic. Adware is also triggered when somebody does a search query on a particular keyword or key phrase that you're bidding on. So for example, if somebody goes to Google and does a search query for car insurance, and if you're bidding on the keyword or key phrase car insurance, your advertisement is displayed also in a pop-up window. So basically what a target is a target is a domain that you're bidding on or a keyword or key phrase that you're bidding on. And so how does it work as far as from an advertiser perspective? Well, it's pretty much the same as traditional pay-per-click marketing. Nothing complicated with Google algorithms. If you look back to the olden days of the way Go2.com operated or Overture.com operated, it was basically in an auction market and the highest bidder won. So it's the same thing with the PPV networks. It's basically, when it comes down to it, it's money talks. The person who's willing to bid the highest amount is the one that will get the best position. So that's basically how it works as far as bidding on an adware, bidding on the PPV network for domains and URLs. So now we're looking at a screen here, and basically what you see here is GameVance, and basically this is a place where people can go and they can download free games to their desktop computer and they can play it. And the incentive here is that when you download this free GameVance tool to your computer for free, you have an opportunity to actually win real cash prizes. You can see here that they have people here who have won. There's 8,000 people who have won a $200 gift card. 1,000 people who have won Apple iPods. They have some pictures of some winners here. So they have an incentive as far as getting these people to download the adware applications onto their computers. And then GameVance, the PPV network that takes advantage of this traffic, is called TrafficVance. That's where you go, you join up, and you start bidding on keywords and domains and start sending the traffic to CPA offers. Now, GameVance is obviously just one of many different applications that power the PPV networks. I mean, if you look at Zango offers free screensavers, free software, a whole slew of different software applications. And that's why Zango.com is probably the biggest PPV network with almost 20 million users.